Viewer discretion is advised.
Happy Thursday. You're listening and or watching Pwnecast. This is episode 194. We are for maybe a very, very brief time in patch 7.3.2. Tonight we are going to be talking about, let's see, we're going to be talking about all things patch, all things Azeroth, all things lore, maybe, question mark, and all things, I don't know, maybe we'll have some exciting things to talk about later that I don't want to talk about right now, but I want you guys to be excited to talk about them later. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Just kidding. We have that and much, much more, so make sure you guys stay right here.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there is a group that defies convention. A group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch. A group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. A group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt. Bell, the Pwnecast Vanguard. With holy might as strong as his ancient knowledge, Remedies, the Argent Waremaster. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are Pwnecast.
So I don't know if anybody else saw the delay where like the audio was skipping or if it was just me. Guys,
is it you?
Is it just me that didn't output that way? Good, because I feel like I might be going a little bit of kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, you're making me feel crazy, but that's cool. I don't mind. It's whatever. Doesn't hurt my feelings.
We're all a little crazy.
I didn't tweet that we were live at all. Do you feel like that matters? Do you feel like that makes me less
Well,
than?
if they have the Twitch app, it actually notifies them. So
I don't know how many people actually get notified. Like, I turn off my notifications except for, like, maybe 4 people. Does that make me rude, mean, whatever?
stingy, picky little something.
Yeah, pretty much all of the above, right? Like, every single thing. Yeah, that's pretty much all of the above. But why I low-key tweet that, welcome back. I don't know if you guys are new to Pwnecast, but if you are, my name is Belle. And I also have with me my co-host with the ho-hos.
I love ho-hos. Snowballs are better, though, I'm going to be honest.
Remedies. You know, it's a funny thing. Got into this argument one time over Twinkies versus Zingers, right? And Rem, I feel like you and I, we're simpatico in a lot of things, right? Then a lot of things we're also complete opposites. But I feel like you might share this argument with me. So before we get into, we have a lot to cover today. I get into this argument about Twinkies versus Zingers. I get told Twinkies are basically the same as Zingers except frosting. Now you can imagine my reaction because that's just ludicrous, right? Twinkies are rounded where Zingers are more square in nature because they have edges all the way around, like each edge of the 4 is a flat edge, none of it's round.
The shape of it doesn't matter. They're the same thing. Zingers have different flavors, though.
Excuse me, the shape does matter. People will tell you the shape doesn't matter your whole life, Rem, and it does.
It still works, okay?
Anyway, now that we've got that little sidebar out of the way, and I feel like my life is complete because I got to tell you guys about this one time at band camp when I got into a fight over... I even drew a picture of, like, the Zinger, and then I drew a picture of the Twinkie, and I showed, like, the shape difference. I used to be really obsessed with Twinkies, but as a gamer, it's not good to be obsessed with Twinkies when you sit all day.
That's valid.
Yeah, it's
Especially if you have like a 8-hour shift of a desk job where you're also sitting. So
right.
Your ass becomes flat, guys, okay? Careful.
Whoa. I mean, how did you know that's what happened?
It's science.
Huh.
There's like 3 muscles in your gluteus maximus.
So...
And, yeah. No bueno.
Your hair is looking very...
Yeah, I got my hair did last week. or past weekend.
Like you had a lady come to your house?
No, ladies don't come to my house. I have to pay them. So I just went to go get my hair trimmed, and it looks better. Question mark.
Yeah, because if I say it doesn't, I'm going to get a slew of people attacking me on the YouTube comments for being
Look at those
obtuse.
papers, okay?
So I'm going to, not do that because that would be mean of me. Guys, I'm a nice person. I don't know the rumors that you heard, but I'm a super nice person.
I'm also a nice person.
You are so nice that, like, I don't even know how to deal with it. Right?
Yeah.
That was sarcasm. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that sarcasm.
What is sarcasm for 100, Alex?
Right. And now that I have successfully used the first 5 minutes of the show to tweet and try to do it without my keyboard picking up the sound, let's talk about what we are going to talk about this week. Now, I'm really sad to say that there's no PvP Brawl next week, but we do have the one. So since we're watching this, and some of you will be watching this the next day, which is on Friday, make sure you spend your weekend doing the Shadowpan Showdown, which is Tiger's Peak, for that brawl, because that's going to be good business. The weekly event this week is going to be the Pet Battle Bonus event, which I don't really take advantage of, but I know that a lot of people do, so make sure you go and check that out. Also, finally, guys, the last LFR wing opens on the 16th. Finally, those of you who do not have a solid raid team, or maybe you try to pug and nobody lets you in, because we're going to talk about that a little bit later too. Now you can just go in there and get it on your own, so you can get the cinematic. And
I can finally talk about the cinematic.
Right, which that will be the week after. Probably.
No, it'd be the 18th because it's open.
I feel like we should give people at least a week, no?
It's open.
Well, I mean,
it's been a month. I've been waiting.
I'll let you decide that, because it's your thing to talk about. I only asked that we wait until at least LFR was open. So if you want to ruin everybody's fun, feel free to do that.
Okay.
I'm not going to judge you for ruining all the people's fun. So
it's all the other things getting judged before, so it's okay.
Right, because that's what I do. I judge. Seriously, so guys, January 16th is also the patch day. Now, when I say that, I'm going to disclaim and say I have no proof that it's patch day. I have zero proof that it's patch day outside of I feel like it's patch day.
All roads lead to it.
Right. So let's talk about those two roads. Today, the announcement happened for what we've been waiting for in regards to the esports stuff. When I say the announcement happened, I mean the announcement happened that the announcement is happening.
The announcement for the announcement.
Right. They announced for the announcement. And Jeremy McIntyre, who heads up the esports stuff, he's going to be on Twitch tomorrow, which I think it's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 7 p.m. GMT time. You can watch. He's talking about the PvP arenas, and he's talking about the Mythic Dungeon Invitationals. This is supposed to be a pretty big thing. And if you guys remember last month or so, it was supposed to happen. It might have been right before Christmas, and they ended up saying, oh, just kidding.
Yeah, they held it off, yeah.
I'm really hoping that this is everything I want it to be. And I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure, because it's likely just going to be this is what we have planned, but I'm really hoping there's going to be some new things that they're going to be unveiling in regards to esports, more specifically for the PvP side, but happy either way, because I think the first round of testing for the Mythic Dungeon Invitational was super successful. So I think that that's really good. I'm hoping that we're going to see the patch announcement at the end of that. I think Lore might be involved. We were talking about it pre-show, and we feel like Lore might be involved.
Yeah, he's the one that's front and center. He's the what's the word? Like the announcer for the announcing.
Yep. So I feel like we might see the announcement that the patch will be live on the 16th, or maybe Blizzard's going to post it. Now, here's the second reason that we feel, actually there's 3 reasons, right? Here, the second reason is the Call of the Scarab is, what is it, the 21st? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
We need to see the patch before that because the changes that were made to that event in PTR. It wouldn't make sense that they would change that event in PTR only to not showcase it for the patch, right?
Yeah, no, if they're doing, even if they're just adding something small, like the patch has to be separate from the patch they have on PTR, so.
Right. And
typically.
the final thing, and guys, this is something I didn't even know. I don't know how I would have known it, or if it would have been like a part of my daily life. There is a Zorathian cultist on Broken Shore. And apparently this cultists have a cast time. They're standing over like a cauldron type of deal, and they have a cast time over what they're doing. Unbeknownst to me, this whole time, since Broken Shore was released, that cast time has coincided with a major event in World of Warcraft. I had no earthly idea this was a thing. Apparently this morning, the cultist cast time is 5 days. 5 days is January 16th. Now, Wowhead had a good point. It could very well be for the LFR countdown. I don't think a cultist casting warrants an LFR, like, you know, the LFR countdown for the final wing doesn't make sense to me, but it could be. So this is an assumption. This is a guess.
So, really quick, is it unbeknownst or unbeknownst?
I think it's unbeknownst.
This is where my brain goes.
I feel like it's unbeknownst.
I've always pronounced it unpronounced. Both of us could be wrong.
You're better at WoW words.
You're better at last names of people.
I really am good at that. Isn't that weird? But I can't remember. Like, I'm really bad at first names, which is kind of, you know. But I feel like I've seen it in a movie where in a monologue they were like, unbeknownst to me. So I don't
like English anyway. It's confusing. But so the Zorathian cultist, typically in the story, Mythic is tied to what's the current timeline at the moment they're doing with the raids. So LFR wouldn't really matter for them to put in a Zorathian cultist, some special thing. So it might be patch. I don't know.
I just feel like I feel it in my bones. And I think I've been saying this for a really long time, that I feel like the 16th is the day. What a wonderful birthday present that would be for me, because we have plans to level and we have plans to do things. And some of that hinges on some stuff for the patch dropping. So hopefully I'm not, if I am disappointed, I'm just going to be over my life. So hopefully tomorrow we will see the, you know, the announcement. I did a lot of research trying to find out like what the other events those cultists were linked to. I don't know that I did enough research, but I didn't.
What? This is the first time I've ever heard about them having a cast time.
Isn't that weird?
A past experience with them doing that? Like, because...
So if you didn't notice that, and you pretty much notice everything in WoW, where you know, there's a lot of things that I don't catch right away because squirrel. If you didn't notice...
No, it hasn't been anything involving Antaurus before, because it's on Argus, isn't it?
No, it's in Broken Shore.
Broken Shore?
Mm-hmm. That's what makes it even weirder, right? Why would something on Broken Shore have to do with an Argus raid?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm confused myself, guys.
That's the first time they've actually had something like that. During the cast time. You know, I pay attention to mostly like MMO Champion or Wowhead whenever there's something that's like out of the ordinary, something going on. It's easy to pick up on it, because it's typically when they try to sneak something in, like when they're doing a patch, they put a bunch of nonsense in there, and they have something important hidden behind all of it.
Now when it comes to Wowhead, Wowhead is on it. Like, yeah. They will know what color underwear you're wearing, for sure. Like, that is a thing. Okay.
Green. By the way.
I mean, I wasn't overly interested, but I feel like a better person because of it. Also, our main man, Chris Metzen, had spinal surgery yesterday. He tweeted a pic today. Sans beard. He had to cut his beard off for the surgery. We're wishing him a speedy recovery. Guys, this is just part of the things you have to do when you get older, is weird surgeries to reassemble your pieces and parts in the proper place.
There's going to be many surgeries in my future. I already have bad knees in the back, so.
Yeah, I've already resolved myself to that. And I'm probably going to have a diaper by the time I'm 50.
You already have a package.
I know. I'm good to go. Like, I have everything I need already.
Ahead of the game.
On the shelf and ready to go. It's going to be good times for sure. So, yeah, we wanted to wish him a speedy recovery. He's the man, though. Seriously. He looked great even from the hospital bed. I don't even know. I know when I had surgery on Timmy, I did not look great.
That was a big ordeal, too, so.
It was not the business, guys. There was nothing cute about that. Like, at all. Now, I normally don't really talk about hotfixes in general, but I feel like there were some hotfixes that happened, and I feel like people might want to know about these said hotfixes. One of them is the Awakening Essences, which we're actually going to talk about the Awakening Essences in more detail here in a few minutes. But this is pre 3.7.5. The Awakening Essences will now drop from all sources. There is a reason for that, which we're going to talk about in a second, which is great. And, oh, did they? Yeah, I was making sure they didn't put that in live. So the cool thing about that is there's a bigger reason why they drop from all sources, and we will talk about that later. So, class stuff. Druid Balance received damage increase, it looks like. And then...
yeah. No, there's nothing.
The Luna Strike and the Solar Wrath.
Everyone is technically buff, so...
Increased by 8. And then for your Marksmanship Hunter, they did fix the issue where Sentinel wasn't able to apply Hunter's Mark if you were casting certain spells. I'm not sure what certain spells those are, but I do know that I had a couple people in Guild that were talking about this. And that fix was actually rolled out on the 9th, which probably the 10th is when they did it, but that should already be live. So if you were having issues as a hunter, you should be good to go. Then, of course, we've got the good old Assassination Rogue. That received...
Assassination.
A bunch of increased damage that I don't care about because I hate rogues. Mutilate damage was increased and some other stuff. Not a whole lot of class tuning has been going on, and I think that's a great thing. I know there's probably some classes and or specs that need some additional help, but I don't feel like we need it right now.
Overall, it's actually pretty on level with everything. Like, you see yourself at the bottom of the chart, but you're not really at the bottom of the chart. You're within, like...
Well, here's the thing. Somebody has to be on the bottom. Otherwise, you know... Like, you need a bottom for everything if you think about that in life. You need a bottom of a sandwich. Otherwise, you just have the top and then the insides fall to the ground.
Well, the heel is the better anyway, so...
Sometimes, you're right. And you need, like... The bottom is important for a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's not always necessarily bad that you're the bottom of the DPS meter as long as you're within the range, right?
No, so, I don't know if you know Dark Legacy Comics. They made a comic about that where they first started doing the parses. And so everyone's exactly the same, but it goes by ABC order. And so someone at the bottom was like, why are we at the bottom? And it's like, oh, we need to change our name to, like, something with an A. It's like, it's silly.
Dark Legacy is one of my favorites because they get us, right? They get all of our trials and tribulations. They get our pains. And it seems like whenever they post their comic, it always goes in line with what's going on in World of Warcraft at the time, right?
Yes.
And it feels good that well, it's kind of creepy too, but it'll always be relevant.
Well, that's the great thing I love about him I don't love him. Well, maybe I do. I don't know.
We're not going to judge you if you...
But anyways, that's what I like about him. He's been playing since ever. Like, that's how he's able to keep it, like, current with what's going on with WoW, because he knows exactly what's going on. Like when he did a comic about Antorus and Heroic Coven. Now I understand the humor and the pain in that one comic strip he did, because there's nowhere to go in that fight.
So weird. Okay.
Anyways.
Guys, Now that we have officially predicted, right? We've predicted that the patch is going to be on the 16th. I've been saying this shit for like 2 months, right? Guys, I know things, okay? Let's talk about some things. Now, I'm not going to get into all the things that are coming for patch 7.3.5. The reason I'm not going to get into all the things coming in the patch is because I did a video on it and it'll be out sometime probably after the announcement or whatnot. So within the next week or so, assuming, or within the next couple days, assuming we get an announcement. But I did a very good video that gives the majority of the important information. But I am going to go through some stuff that you do need to know in advance. If you haven't been paying attention, especially from PTR build to PTR build, a lot of that information can get super convoluted and it's hard to track it. So I pulled some stuff together. Let's talk about what we're going to be dealing with for 7.3.5. The most important change of all the things is going to be the legendary changes. Just kidding. I'm so sick of the word legendary, like I want to throw up. However, the good news is they're not adding any new legendaries this patch, which makes me super happy. So that's a good thing. Let's talk about those. I'm trying to make sure that I talk about this without raging. So hopefully Rem is nice and doesn't poke the bear, right, Rem? We're not going to poke the bear.
Did you hear about the new legendary?
I hate you.
Token?
So for patch 7.3.5, as we just talked about, the Awakening Essences do drop from all sources. They also added it for the first battleground of your day. You get those Awakening Essences similar to like the rewards you get from the first dungeon and all that.
Really quick, I know why they did that. Easier, more easy to obtain more, obviously. But why would you add it for the first win at Battleground when legendaries don't matter in Battlegrounds? The effect doesn't work, and it's just an eye level boost. So, I mean...
Well, sir, my unofficial answer is because I'm thinking because maybe the addition of the Seething Shore Battleground, it kind of has something to do with the patch in like Silithus type of way. I'm actually not sure.
But if it's added to the first Battleground of the win or win of the day, then it's going to be a random BGQ. So it's not like queuing specifically for.
I do agree that that is a little weird. And I do agree that I do think that PvE stuff doesn't belong in the PvP world and vice versa. So I do completely agree with you there. And we are actually going to talk about that later. As far as PvP and PvE, like not living together, right? Like
they can be roommates,
right?
But they can't be.
Right now, they're like cuddle buddies, right? They're spooning every night. I'm
like
PvP,
Lycan and Soiled.
like I'm PvP right now, and pretend like my husband's PvE. I need you to roll over, get on your own side of the bed, and go the fuck to sleep. That's what I need.
Exactly how it is in your house, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I need PvP to live in its own world, and I need PvE to live in the same world. We're going to talk about that. You get me off track. I hate it when you do that. Okay. And with it dropping from all sources, that basically means they've increased the rate that you're getting these Awakening Essences, and here's the reason. So for the Awoken Titan Essence, the Awoken Titan Essence is the token that you get from the quest reward currently to upgrade your 970 legendaries to level 1000. Boy, am I glad to say this out loud. It's no longer going to be a quest. There's no quest involved. It's just everybody can collect them. It makes sense, right? Because the Awakening Essences are currency. Why is there a quest? There shouldn't be a quest.
It makes sense for them to have a quest at the beginning because no one would know about it.
And they made changes, right? Where originally it wasn't a currency, it was the quest reward that had that countdown on your your quest objective.
In the currency tab,
right.
Yeah, all that.
Well, it's no longer going to be a quest reward, and instead that same vendor, I'm not even going to attempt to say his name. I tried to say his name like 20 times before I did my video for Method. Bad business. Like, I should probably at some point do a compilation of all my outtakes from me trying to record videos, but it was not happening, so I'm not even going to attempt. But the original quest giver in where the blacksmith stuff is located in Dalaran, he is now selling that as a vendor item. The reason that they increased the rate at which you can acquire the Awakening Essences and the reason that they now drop from all sources is because the Awoken Titan Essence now costs 300 Awakening Essences. So the good news is we've had enough time to where I'm going to say at least 6 or 7 of your legendaries should be upgraded by now. Like, I'd be surprised to say, Ren, what would you say? How many? I mean, I have 5, and I've been doing it casually.
I mostly focus on the 2, and I didn't care about the others because those 2 are the ones I always have equipped. Because I have all the shit, and then a couple steps up, I have the good ones. So, and I still have 2 or 3 others that are upgraded to 1,000.
What you're saying is you don't care. Got it.
About getting all the other legendaries upgraded to 1,000. I focus on getting the 2, and then
I'm weird like that, where I'll look in my bank and I'll see all the legendaries that are not 1,000. It'll make me crazy. My OCD does not allow for that. So I've been picking up that quest each time because it's stuff I'm doing anyway to acquire those. So it's not taking any time out of my day. Hopefully you guys were smart and you've upgraded as many legendaries as you could, so that you don't have to pay the 300 Awakening Essence cost for that. I think it's funny that they're like, hey, we're increasing the rate at which you can acquire these and we're making it drop from all sources, but we're really going to make it that it's going to be super expensive to use. Next part here, Purified Titan Essence. The Purified Titan Essence is an item sold by the same vendor. So we're talking about the same vendor in Dalaran, in the blacksmith. And this item you can purchase to synthesize a legendary.
Arcanomancer Vidal.
How did you even say that? I tried to say it and it just came out sounding like...
It's just Arcane and then Mancer, Arcanomancer.
Ugh, whatever.
And then his name is weird. It's like Vidal or Vid.
It just looked weird, so I just call him that guy in Dalaran, basically.
I'm calling Virgil.
I was calling him the quest giver because I was pretty much over it. So
it's one of the 7 in Dalaran, guys.
This Purified Titan Essence, did you guys hear me? It synthesizes a legendary.
They have a synthesizer now?
It synthesizes the legendary because we don't have enough legendaries. Let's go fucking nuts at the tail end of the patch and let's give everybody all the legendaries. Serious note though, guys, I think it's cool because here are the reasons. So it's bind on pickup, meaning you can't use like your alts to funnel to your main. You know, you can't, there's not a whole lot of exploit that you can use there. I'm sure somebody will find some, but the token itself, which is the Purified Essence, that item is bind on pickup. If you are on a main or a tune that does not have all your legendaries, like right now I think Belle's missing like 3, it will create a legendary for whatever spec I'm in. So make sure you're in the proper spec and it will give me a legendary that I don't have. If you do this, it doesn't take away from you getting a legendary via the normal RNG method. So bad luck protection is not a factor here. That's not included in the bad luck protection algorithm. It's like you never got the legendary on the back end for the RNG, right? Did I say that right? Did that make sense? I feel like I confused myself.
Yeah. I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, maybe. So if you are still out there doing your emissaries and getting your chests, you're running your raid content, you're running your whatever to proc, you know, the more things you do, the quicker you proc that legendary drop. This will not affect you. Synthesizing a legendary doesn't affect
So the percentage or the equation or whatever the fuck algorithm they've got
is not affected.
Going, it just takes it out of the pool. Pretty much.
Right. It just pretends like it never happened from a code perspective on the back end. It's like it never was. Kind
I
of
feel
like,
bad for the guys that have to code this shit.
I mean, they love it, I'm sure. Now, if your tune that you're purchasing this on, so my assumption here would be your main, has all the legendaries. You've collected all the legendaries for your class. If you right-click the token that's bind on pickup, you have no choice, so you're doing it. If you right-click the token, it makes a BOA legendary for another class and spec for you to give to your alt, so you can pass it around. It's random. We don't know. Could be 20 suffuses for all we know.
I actually need that one.
I know you do. That's why I said that. The cost is going to be 1,000 Awakening Essences, guys.
See, that's ridiculous. 1,000? That's...
Well, what's ridiculous is the fact that they're allowing you to purchase legendaries. That's what you're... See, I knew you were going to do that. All you have to say is one thing, and it's going to trigger. Guys, you're not going to trigger. It's not going to happen. I'm going to be on my best behavior. This is our
You know what triggers me is when they call legendaries Legos. Shut the.
I heard you the other day having a complete meltdown about that. So here's the deal. The awakening essences that you have, yes, you can still use them after the patch. So if you want to start working on that now, that's my recommendation. Get in there, do as many things as you can to get these awakening essences, especially if you are still missing legendaries like myself. I'm trying to get, I think it's like the Soul of the Netherlord. That's like my...
Yeah, your ring.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get to that one.
Eradication and...
So this, hopefully, I might have to purchase a ton of these tokens to be able to get it, but whatever, like I'm in, because I just got a legendary the other day that was not the one I wanted. You can start saving this now. For the emissary chests that have these awakening essences, there's no point in saving them. Blizzard came right out and said in a blue post, there's no benefit to saving your emissary chests till after the patch.
Softy.
The amount of awakening essences is going to be the same before and the same after. There's absolutely no benefit to that whatsoever. So you don't need to stockpile. And since there isn't another eye level upgrade for legendaries, there's
unless
no
you're
reason.
Desperate, I guess. Question mark. Maybe an alt.
There's no benefit because nothing this patch are they like removing or increasing. They've already done the hotfix to make it from all sources, increasing the double, the rate at which you get them. There's no benefit to keeping, really for anything patch related, there's no benefit to keeping that. Where I think previously we did because they were hoping if a legendary dropped from one of the chests that it was after the, the legendary was
it did work out for Softy, but it took like 12 chests. So.
Right, and there's the legendary eye level staying 1,000. I half expected them to come out and be like legendary 170 or 1070. But that did not happen, so I'm super happy about that. So, guys, that's a big deal. Go in and get the things. Save your awakening essences. Don't waste them like I've been arbitrarily wasting them because I have to have all my legendaries that I don't use upgraded. Hindsight, guys, is 2020. Had I have known that, I wouldn't have been spending them. But 1,000 awakening essences. Mythic combat res changes. We talked about it previously, but I want to remind you the Mythic Plus combat res change is changing to be a shared resource and a 10-minute recharge for that. I know this affects a lot of things. I'm sorry I didn't do it, but that's what's happening, and that will be live with patch 7.3.5.
It should have been like that because, it's supposed to be hard, so...
I do agree, and I think I made that... When you and I talked about that, when Jimma was on, I feel like I made that point, and I think some people didn't like that point, but I bet
there are some mechanic strategies where you run ahead and you kill yourself and just have like a battle res or a soul stone or the priest's cloak. You get to have a free res. So maybe that's a good change in that regard.
You're right.
Makes it more challenging.
You super right. Backpack size is being increased. Backpack size is being increased by a whole 4, guys. A whole 4. This is going to give you a total of 20 slots. Now, you have to attach your authenticator. And if you don't have your authenticator attached already to your account, shame on you, because that is just a huge no-no.
That's what the Chinese farmers want.
Well, maybe you're new and you don't know that you need to have the authenticator. You can do it with the iPhone app, the Android app, and you can purchase the keychain authenticator. There's really little to no excuse. So you need to do that. If you have the authenticator already attached to your account when you log in, this is going to be...
retroactive.
Yeah, it'll just automatically, like a little box will pop up on your...
Yeah, when you went on the PTR, it was boom, there.
Now, if you've never had an authenticator because maybe you've never heard of it, or maybe you had an authenticator and then you took it off, whatever, as long as you have the authenticator on your account, you get the Corehound pup.
As well,
pet.
yeah.
If you take authenticator off your account, though, that pet's unusable, FYI. But that pet was actually released in 2009. I think it's patch 3.3. They use that as a means to get people to link their authenticator. That was like a sales point. So get that done. Old War Time Walking is coming. We're excited. Coming to the Wrath of the Lich King. During the Time Walking events, 9:30 will be the eye level that drops from that. And
quick thing right quick. I forgot to research it, but the Ulduar Time Walking, can you still get the achievement title for going all the way to Algalon? Do you know? Or do you not know?
I know they didn't remove any achievements.
No, so in Ulduar, you have to be below a certain item level, and you get an achievement for completing the raid.
I'm actually not sure because the changes that they made to the raid, there's no longer a 10 and 25 man. It's going to be just normal difficulty. So there won't be a distinction. The achievement, the Glory of the Ulduar Raider for 10 man and for 25 man, those have been merged into just one achievement, and that reward gives you the Ironbound and the Rusted Proto Drake. So, and the gear that drops from 25 man and 10 man was merged into it dropping in normal as well. So I'm not, you'll have to look that up because I don't think I saw a mention on that.
But the one I was thinking of was Herald of the Titans.
Oh, I don't think it changed, did it? Maybe they adjusted the requirements? Because I didn't see that it was removed.
Yeah, because you couldn't. You have to be. Oh, just kidding. I don't. Maybe I hope they changed something. No, it has to be at level 80. But you're down to level 80. I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay. I'll research on that.
PvP. Seething Shore will be live with 7.3.5. I'm excited to see if they took any of the feedback from PTR because I did give pretty heavy feedback regarding that. I'm really hoping that they made some adjustments. I haven't been in to test it because it's like a 4-hour queue in PTR, and I'm not really about that life. And the Vicious War Fox is going to be the Vicious Saddle Vendor. Guys, I literally lost my train of thought in the middle of that sentence. That you guys just witnessed, if you're watching live or if you're watching on video, you just witnessed the face, like what my face looks like when I legit squirrel, like mentally. Yes, the Vicious Saddle Vendor will have it for both factions. I feel like the fox is pretty neat, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a pretty legit fox.
What I find surprising is people are only finally getting their Lothian Fox.
You know, I tried for a really long time. I did every single time
that sitting in your bag for weeks.
No, but like the withered training, I tried to do that literally every time it was up so that I could, because that's where most people got it from, right? Was from one of the chests in the withered training. I ended up getting it like way after pretty much everybody had already gotten it.
I don't know what I was doing. I was like, looked at my bags and it was there, so I can't help you.
And I had been trying to proc it, and you just got it like randomly, and I'm like, that's great. I finally got it and did it, but frustrated nonetheless. Let's also talk about there's some new hunter pet tames. Normally, I try to stay away from talking about the hunter pet tames. The only reason being is because as a super casual hunter, I don't really know that I understand because I don't pet, right? I'm marksman and I'm lone wolf. So it is it's something that's on my to-do list of things to do before BFA, to like switch up and really be in tune and learn what it's like to tame pets and do all those things, because I feel like I need to add that to kind of my skill set. So it's definitely something that's in my brain, but we're just going to have to figure it out. So basilisks, Panthera, Manta Ray, Silithid, Talbuks, new colors, new models. Those actually, the Panthera actually look pretty cool. The Silithids basically just look like
an upgraded
the Scarab mounts, right? It's essentially the same to me. It doesn't, the distinction isn't different. The Talbuk's pretty cool. And then the Allied Race Hunter pets, I don't know if you guys knew, but like the High Mountain Tauren gets the Great Eagle, and obviously, we knew the Lightforged Draenei were going to get the Lightforged Talbuk, because Talbuk is like the Draenei's like spirit animal, right? And then the Void Elf get the Void Stalker. No?
Draenei's spirit animal is an Elec.
Then why are Talbuks throughout Argus, which Argus is Crocun, which is the Broken, but they're technically Draenei, yes?
I mean, yeah, Talbuk are running around, but their spirit animal is the Elec.
Well, why isn't the Elec the
because it's their mount.
Oh. See what happens when you say what you think you know in front of the lore guy? He's like, no, bitch, that's not fact. The Void Elf is the Void Stalker, which is, I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less, right? It looks kind of cool, actually.
It looks ugly, but I like it.
The Nightborn is the Mana Saber. So, guys, I'm going to have a Nightborn of every single class on Horde side. I'm not joking you. I am 150% going to have a Nightborn of every single class. That is on my mission for when we get to unlock these. I will be doing all of those things Horde side. That's my obsession with the Nightborn, guys.
But why every class? You don't play every class? Just make
every class that can be Nightborn is going to be Nightborn.
Just make 5 Nightborn Warlocks. You get soiled.
No, I want to experience all the things Nightborn. It's going to be an obsession. I can already tell you that that's literally what's happening.
You can't even
listen, Heartless Deadpool, where were you last week? Because there's been only 2, bud. I feel like you on the late train. We riding this show out. Actually, well, let me talk about this, and then we're going to talk about a couple other things real quick before we move into some lore story discussion. So,
what?
Just kidding. The Delaran mailroom will be obtainable for 7.3.5. Now, the mailbox that's at the bottom of the stairs by Violet Citadel, that currently, if you go look at it, has a little envelope. That little envelope's it's not clickable, but it's there. Where that little envelope is, when the patch hits, that little envelope, if it's there, will be clickable. We don't really know the spawn time, although I tried to see... I mean, I spent a month and a half in PTR trying to just get the envelope, where I would just sit idle, trying to get that envelope to pop up, because nobody knows what the exact respawn time once somebody clicks it. But you'll click on that little envelope, and that starts you on a lost mail quest. I'm doing a video actually after the show about that, which will be out sometime in the next couple of days, that highlights everything we went through, including the getting the postmaster title in the mail elemental pet on hard mode, because in that scenario there's a hard mode that you have to do. Rem, you'd be super proud of me, because that hard mode involves sending mail to partial addresses, which means I kind of knew my stuff.
Like it tells you like a name in a zone?
Like Soggy Gamble, but it doesn't tell you anything else, just Soggy Gamble.
Soggy Gamble?
Pandaria.
Soggy Gamble?
It's Pandaria. Google it. Somebody that's watching, Google it. Soggy Gamble's in Pandaria.
I mean, okay, but...
The reason I know is because it took me 23 attempts to be able to beat it on hard mode, and I realized that I memorized all the... Because I was memorizing the ones I was getting wrong, which the bulk of the ones that I was getting wrong I found was Eastern Kingdoms. Northrend was pretty much easy, as was... Because there's Legion maps on there, too.
We'll give some examples of the Eastern Kingdoms, if you remember them.
Of what?
Of the Eastern Kingdoms. If you remember them.
Menethil Harbor.
That's not Lochmadon. Crap, I can't remember. Listen, I know exactly where it is.
That you know this kind of stuff, because I do not normally. Like, it's not a part of my daily life to know.
Yeah, Menethil Harbor is right in between Arathi Highlands and Cosmodon. I remember that zone, but it's right there.
Well, I don't even recall ever being there, like, ever.
That's how you get to the boat to Theramore, or Thera.
Then there was Stonard.
Stonard is...
Is it Stonard? Am I saying it wrong?
Stonard is right above Blasted Lands. I can't remember the name of it. Swamp of Sorrows.
I actually feel like I want to test your knowledge. Then there was Brill. I should have known Brill, but I kept getting Brill wrong. It was funny. I was getting quite frustrated because I kept getting it wrong, but it's whatever. So I have a full breakdown on all the quests, the entire quest chain, where it takes you. I have a full breakdown. That'll be out in a couple of days. I have it. It's in an article as well as a video to help you guys out, just in case you need it, or so that you can check it out before the patch hits. The last thing I want to talk about when it comes to 7.3.5 is what we're all excited about, which is the leveling updates. The zone scaling is going to be in full effect. The zones will scale similar to how they scale now. There's going to be, a min and a max, and that's going to be where you go and level. The cool thing about this is we talked about this, I think, last week or the week before. Rem and I went in there to level on PTR to just kind of see what it was about. We actually got to finish an entire, storyline. With that, the storyline for Lore Master, the storylines have now, it's been adjusted to how it is for...
Yeah, so instead of get X amount of quests in the zone. It's just complete the storylines.
Complete the storylines, and then it lists the storylines. So the lore master stuff is updating, and some of the other achievements have been updated too to reflect that, which I think is great. Now the leveling, my favorite part, we talked about this before, but this is just a reminder, is flying. You no longer need to purchase like your cold weather flying, your Pandaland flying.
Wisdom of the Four Winds is
yeah. You don't have to do any of that. As long as you purchase your expert riding, you'll be able to fly on any continent that does not have a Pathfinder achievement. If you did not do your Pathfinder, you ain't flying. But hopefully you did, so that you can do all the things. But that's probably my favorite one, because I remember when I was way broke in WoW, and this was before I knew anything about the game. And I just struggled daily to like live in WoW. I had to eat like ramen every day. I could not afford. I never went to the auction house because I couldn't afford it. I didn't know. I had like 300 gold, like total, for like 2 years. Yeah.
That's sad.
I know. I was really poor back then. Now I live the good life.
Wow, that makes me sad.
I live the good life now, but it was really depressing.
Now you could eat 2 ramen packs a night.
Right. I'm actually hungry. Oh, I hate
steak.
You.
Nom nom.
You had steak?
Yes. Steak and potatoes. What's taters?
Your mom's a good mom.
My dad. He's the one that makes the steak.
Oh. The experience required to hit level 60 has increased, but according to Rem, it means it's more steep. I don't know what the fuck that means, guys, but apparently he does, because we talked.
So a quick visual description or visual representation.
Yeah, give us a visual aid.
So, aids? No. So the old one, it was more like this, and each new expansion it shot up abruptly, whereas now it's a little more evened out. So the total experience remains about the same. They just increased what it takes to go from 10 to 60 because to normalize everything.
It shot up abruptly, huh?
Yeah. It's a word, right? If it's not, I'm going to call.
No, it's a word. It's just not a word in my... It's not the word I would...
What word?
I'm trying to figure out if we're trying to be PG or not. Anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter because other people will do the thinking for me. That's really the good thing about being a woman is other people will do the thinking for you. Come on. You know it's true. So, yes, we did feel when we were leveling like it was taking a little bit longer to get a level.
But honestly, it wasn't noticeable. I mean, it was, but it wasn't, you know?
It was, but it wasn't. But we also didn't do any dungeon runs, right? Because the dungeons are changing too. That's, you know, the mobs are changing. All that stuff it's working accordingly. So it's going to work when you queue for a certain set of dungeons. It's just like it works in current with the being able to do the dungeons. But the heirloom, for the heirlooms, the experience bonus has not changed. That's not going away or being lowered or anything like that. But the stats on a lower... So when you're at a lower level, the stats basically matter less.
Doesn't inflate it, yeah.
Which is good. It felt, I mean, the mobs have higher health pools, so we couldn't just go in and pew-pew, right? What is funny?
I'm thinking of... So in Northshire Valley, you have all the little goblin assassins.
Uh-huh.
And typically, when you're farting around doing something, and typically you could just Shadow Word pain them and they die. So you can pull like all of them that you need for the quest, dot them, and then move on. Whereas now, it took a while for them to die, so I had 8 of them surround me, and I actually almost died at level 3. It was kind of embarrassing. So, yeah. I lived, though.
I'm glad that you lived, because... and then also, the recruitment boards are being added to capital cities. So what these recruitment boards are is they pretty much... yeah. You're going to remind me to go in there, aren't you? Yeah. The recruitment boards are in your capital cities, and basically the interface is the exact same, which I have a visual aid. Looks just like the artifact weapon screen, where you get to select which spec you want to start on for your artifact weapon. that is going to be what you see when you click on, so that it can take you to various places. This is equivalent to having to check it out on your mission board, or your scouting map in your hall, or in your garrison if you're doing Draenor content. But now you'll get to see that in the capital cities, so you can pick and choose where you want to go, which I think it's great because they're directing people, especially new players to WoW, to the different possibilities.
So, did you notice how involved in the story those descriptions were, though? Like the heroes board at the moment is just like, go here, do these quests. That was like, you can join the Night Watch. Duskwood is in a never fallen night. It's fucking cool.
So I'm one of those people that when I'm questing, I don't really pay attention a whole lot to.
Well, I'm speaking to the people that do care.
No, I'm not saying I don't care. I'm just saying when I'm questing, okay, let me not lie. If it's a new expansion or whatever, yes, I'm paying attention because that's part of the story. But when I, like, in my memory, and even when we were leveling from 1 to 20, there was things that happened that I never knew because we skipped that, right? We skipped that and went to the new map. So there was things that I didn't remember. However, what's funny is the offset to that. There are really weird things about questing at lower levels that I remember, such as the dragon eggs, right? The dragon eggs and the ones in Burning Steps. We have to do a thing, and then we take one of the dragon eggs, and then I found out later that it's...
Yeah, that's Deathwing.
Deathwing.
Rathian.
Yeah, it's Deathwing. It's
There's
totally
so many
Deathwing.
Dragon eggs. I was confused.
Yeah, totally. It's totally Deathwing. No, seriously, I found out later that it was Rathian, and the fact that I remembered doing that quest kind of blew my mind because there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember. But yes, you're right. The story, it's more descriptive. They're giving players, they're doing both.
Thank you, Lycan. Thank you.
Don't help feed the beast. Don't help feed the beast. Okay.
But saying dragon eggs is kind of obscure. There's a lot of dragon eggs.
There's a lot of stuff coming out for the patch. Like I said, my method video will be out, hopefully, I'm thinking tomorrow. Not 100% sure, but it's done. It's ready to go. It will give all the stuff, all the things, everything you need to know. Now, I'm going to talk about a thing, and then we're going to go talk about what to do in WoW. Now, I know you see two of us. We talked about this last week, right? We talked about Rem and I were going to continue the way things were. You know, we were going to revamp, and we were going to do all these things. And, you know, we've been doing them, right? Like, I don't know if you guys know, Rem's been putting in work. Like, in the background, Rem's been putting in work all week. And it's been really refreshing to have him, like, every day. He's, hey, we need this, or let's do this. And he's adding to the notes and doing things. It's been really nice to have an equal, somebody that I feel like is... I don't have to harp right now. But that's only because it's new and fresh right now. So he's like, it's the second it gets comfortable again, then he's going to go back to me having to harp in.
So next week.
Right. So that, I mean, it isn't because anything's amazing. It's literally just because it's new and he's trying to, you know, ease that load. However, I can't announce all the things I wanted to announce, or rather guests I wanted to announce, because I'm still waiting for a final confirmation. But I can tell you that next week, we will have a guest, which is going to be Winstead. He is from Technically PvP. Yes, New Relationship Energy. That is exactly what that is. It's like hit the freaking nail
gay
on the head. It hit the nail on the head. It is New Relationship Energy. 100% right. Winstead is going to be a guest next week. And he's from the podcast Technically PvP. I got the opportunity to meet him at BlizzCon. He is good people.
So is it PvP or not?
Technically, it's PvP. We are actually going to have a guest every week from next week on until April. And then once I run out of guests, I will reschedule for the next 2 or 3 months with new guests. The guests are a variety of people. They're from all walks of World of Warcraft life. I have fellow podcasters. I have, I don't really know, like, they're, I don't really know, fucking like.
We have people, guys, don't worry.
We have people. I have fellow podcasters that are going to be on. I sent out an email a couple days ago, and I said, okay, I'm going to just DM and I'm gonna slide into a couple
I was
people's
gonna say slide
DMs,
in. Yeah.
and I'm gonna email a ton of people that I think would be a really good fit to be guests on the show, and I'm just gonna see what pans out. And I posted a thing on Twitter about feeling like I'm begging for change when I ask people to be on the show, and everybody felt like, all the podcasters were like, dude, we totally feel the same way. To my surprise, every single person that I emailed
It's pretty much on board.
confirmed. With that, I don't like to use the term big or famous when it comes to guests. The reason being is I feel like, and I think Rem shares that same thing, it negates all the guests in general, right? Everybody is equally as important. My fellow podcasters from the Azeroth Roundtable are going to be joining us, as well as Frozen Nerds, and I have a couple other podcasts. They are just as important as any of the other guests. But we do have some guests that I did not think we would be able to get on the show. I will say that. I'm not going to spoil it because Rem told me not to spoil it yet, but I can tell you that it's been wild the last 2 days. I blew Remedy's mind yesterday regarding one of the guests, and it's been wild. I just want to tell you that I am very, very proud of what we have built, because people are on board with that because of what we built. So I'm making you wait another week, but next week, we are going to have a calendar from now on. So on our Pwnecast.tv website, I'm in the middle of fixing it and adding and revamping it a little bit. You're going to know all the guests that are going to be on for at least 2 to 3 months in advance. You'll be able to go and see what guests we're going to have on there, and to, whatever. That way you'll always know. The idea behind that is so that people that want to watch live can make sure that they catch it live, because some of these guests, guys, you're going to want to ask questions to when we have them here. I promise you. That's the only thing I can tell you, is some of them you are going to want to see it live. So, make sure you guys get excited, because next week I'll show you the calendar, and then we'll unveil the guests that we have. And when I say confirmed, I'm talking like this week I got organized. I have official emails to guests that have them confirm their date and time, and then I have a guest document that tells them everything that goes on with the show and what they need to know. Guys, I've been on my game this week. Nothing says make shit better like shit's fucked up.
What?
Like, that's the time when you rally, and then you really see all the holes in what you were doing, and you see what was missing in the show the whole time that you completely lost sight of, and me and Rem being able to rally that together. So no, it isn't going to be 2, because it's always going to be 3. It'll be a random every single week. So
nuts.
It's good. I really wanted to say, and I told Rem it was going to be really hard for me to say some of these guests that are going to be on. And I'm trying hard to not say it, guys. I'm telling you.
It's good. Okay?
Some of you are going to message me when this guest list is live. Some of you are going to message me and ask me how in the world I even managed that. And you know what I'm going to tell you? I have no fucking idea. What it is I had no shame. I emailed regardless of station. I emailed regardless of who they were and pitched it. And
you also sold me off. Yeah.
I mean, $20 is $20, Rem. I'm in. But I've done a lot of things, and I'm excited to unveil it to you guys next week.
By the way, completely left field, but I just find it funny that someone described your job.
So it's funny that you say that, because, well, although I'm not a project manager, I'm technically a program manager, which does the project manager and other stuff. Technically, I'm a product manager for apps for my company. But yes, that is in fact what I do. I got promoted recently, so I'm less in development and I'm more on the organizational side of things for my company, because I'm a get her done type of girl. Okay.
Get her done.
No, actually, it's not. And I'm going to say the one. It is not trade chat, okay? However, it is.
You did say the way it pans out.
Can I say that? Can I say the one? Just the one.
No.
Not like the one I wanted to say, but can I just say the one?
What do you mean the one?
Can I just say like one? Can I give one of the, and I don't want to say like heavy hitters because they're all the same to me. However,
they're all equal in my eyes, Belle. Anyone can.
I agree, but there are the ones that you never thought you would be able to get, right?
You like stone.
I'm not gonna spoil it. You guys will see it. I just want you to know that I have been putting in a lot of hard work, and I'm getting a little emotional in the background because I really have been putting in a lot of hard work this week, and it's paying off. Anyway, okay, I'm not gonna take up any more show time to talk about all of that. We got good things in the works, and I'm fucking stoked about it. Anyway, okay. Before I hand the reins over to Rem, so we have a nice discussion to talk about, which I'm excited because everything we're talking about, I know about. So I'm really excited for your lore stuff. FYI, I paid attention. Okay. What to do in WoW. This week, and I don't want to say this week, but really the Mage Tower needs to be on your to-do list before Battle for Azeroth. Now, we have plenty of time, guys. There's no rush for you to do this. However, we have a guildie and an officer of mine. His name is Cash.
Currently, oh, God, he's nuts.
He's doing it on all of his tunes, all of his specs. Like, he is just going ham sandwich.
Isn't he, like, halfway through? He's close.
I mean, I know he's done a lot. He is insane. So you can't really measure yourself by him whatsoever because he's like on a whole other, like, I'm sure that there's crack cocaine involved in that gaming situation. But the skins for these, for completing these on, you know, your healer, your tank, and all of that.
36 done, by the way.
Is that what he has? 30? Holy shit. The skins will not be acquirable after the expansion. And if you want to be able to transmog those skins later, because you can transmog at any time after the expansion, you just won't be able to acquire the new skins. If you have alts that you want to do them for, go through and check out what the skins look like. If the Mage Tower hasn't been anything that's been your focus, go see what it has to offer. Just, you don't want to be that guy that's like, holy shit, I didn't know that that skin was available and I didn't even try to go get it. You don't want to be that guy.
The perfect example is during Mists of Pandaria when they had the challenge modes and you could unlock the weapons.
Right.
So, or no, the Mists of Pandaria was the armor, Warlords was the weapons.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I could have gotten the weapons during Warlords, but I just didn't. I was like, I'm not going to worry about it.
I mean, I could have got herpes from a brothel, but, you know, we didn't. So that's...
Who doesn't have herpes?
Well, it's actually a valid question. We're going to have to take a poll after the show. And I mean POLL, FYI, just in case I need more context there. So if you want to take advantage of getting those appearances, because you can transmog them after, so you can transmog your weapons for those appearances, but you won't be able to collect them. To make it easier, do like one alt spec per tower rotation. If you're like me and you feel like you're not Cash, who could do all the things, like me, when it comes to mechanics, I understand it, but I have to do it like 50 fucking times, right, to get it in my brain. I haven't tried it since it first came out, but put that on your guys' to-do list for, you know, what to do in WoW. If you're bored and you say you have nothing to do, well, I just gave you stuff to do. If you did all that already, don't worry. Next week I'll come back with another what to do in WoW, and you won't have to be so concerned with that. But for now, Mage Tower should be on your focus. Hopefully last week some of you started on your alt class mounts and that kind of thing. So I've given you 2 things now that you can do in World.
When did you talk about class mounts? Kidding.
I hate you. Speaking of mounts.
Speaking of mounts, awesome segue. So last week I talked about the long forgotten hippogriff. Belle and I went out to Azuna and we're out there for about 20 minutes. And then Ella, aka Heather, came out and was like, oh, I'm out here too. So I invited her. And then Aja was out there. So before that, we found about 2 or 3. And me and my dumbass miscounted, and I got number 4, and I thought that was it. So I thought it was broken, so I was freaking out. And then Belle here is like, "Oh, did you get the one in the water?" I was like, "What one in the water?" So in total, it took us about an hour of actual looking during primetime hours. It wasn't like late at night, so anyone can do it. You just realm hopping is an option. I would not suggest it because it might mess up with the crystals, but
we were
it's not that hard to get. So after one person picks up the 5 crystals, I explained that it resets the timer for 12 hours. So just keep that in mind. But no, it's not that hard to get. It took us about an hour of about 3 to 4 of us. So
we let him get it because he talked about on the show last week. I thought it'd be really nice if he could come on the show before he does this week's Mount of the Week, that he could tell you a success story that he was able to get it literally the same time we tried it, which was pretty great.
That's cool. Yeah.
Hopefully he pays it forward and I get it this weekend.
I was actually going to plan on doing that.
Look at you being you're so solid in public, man.
Anyways. Kidding.
Doesn't hurt my feelings.
That was intentional. I know. It's okay. But so the Mount of the Week for this week, I'm actually going to be doing that this weekend. Or maybe tomorrow. I don't know yet. Voidtalon of the Dark Star. That is it looks like the Raven Lord from, not Shatrath, from Auchindoun, from Outlands.
It does.
So it's a voided out Raven Lord. And so what is going on is there's different portals throughout Draenor. It could be any zone. We'll have a link to the first comment on Wowhead where it shows all the designated.
Actually, I got your back. I have.
That's
in
right.
addition to the link, I have a pretty visual for people. That's not going to help you because you're still going to want to go to the Wowhead link.
Yeah.
What is it? The name of the portals is what, Rem?
Edge of Reality.
Edge of Reality. So let's pop that up on the screen. Those are the portal spawn points. I don't know where I got this from, guys. I got it from somewhere on the internet, so if I stole this and didn't give credit, I apologize. Do you know what website I got this from?
It says it right there. It has a watermark.
Where? Oh, it does. Rarespawns.blogspot.com. So I stole it, and I'm giving them credit for it.
You didn't know Jesus. Okay.
I'm a terrible person.
There is only one portal you have to go into. When you find that portal, you'll go in. But you'll click the portal. It'll spawn, create a scenario queue, and you'll hop in there, and you find a larger Voidtalon dead, and there's an egg by it, and you click the egg. It'll show up in your inventory. You'll go out. You can mount on it. You can use it, and then immediately mount on it. This is a lot easier to realm hop because there is not a multiple amount of portals you have to go into. So that is an option, realm hop between different spawn points. Full disclosure, if you do realm hop, when you go in and click the egg, it won't immediately go into your inventory. You'll get it in the mailbox from Khadgar where it says, blah, 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 you lost it in the void. Here you go. Don't lose it, blah, blah, blah. So
I feel like if you just do this when nobody else is up, right? Do this at, set something for yourself. Maybe you do it on a Friday, or maybe you do it in an oddball time. Nobody knows your server better than anybody else. Do it at a time when nobody else is on, and just go. I wouldn't try to do this shit during the day. I don't do any of this stuff during the day.
No one's online. Hello?
Yeah. Do it first thing in the morning, guys. That's what I would do. I like to work smarter, not harder, though.
Yeah.
So how early are we getting up to do this weekend, Rem?
We're just staying up late.
Because only one person, right? It's just a one shot. We both can't go into the same portal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not helping you get another mount. I'm helping myself.
Okay.
We'll just do it on different servers.
I have friends on other servers. Just kidding, I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's the mount of the
I have
week.
anybody.
And it's beautiful too. And it can't fly, but it's beautiful.
Oh, it can't fly? Oh, I'm not even gonna bother.
Like I said, it's the Raven Lord.
Oh,
but you can use it throughout the first half of BFA though, because
it's a good thing to have for what you call it. What's that word?
Battlegrounds?
No, collections.
I was thinking
Guys,
Battleground.
Do you remember we talked about the later it is in the day, the worse it is for me, because I am tired towards the end of the day, so I get a little stupid. So, yeah.
So, what's your excuse for 8 in the morning?
Whoa. buddy. Also, I want to tell you that the Blues do listen. Well, when I say they do listen, I mean they are listening. If you guys remember, flashback to several episodes ago, I talked about a thread that Van Ruki posted that I commented on, and all this such and such stuff. I finally saw some Blue action, and Blue commented and said that they have been following the thread heavily and that they want players to keep posting the feedback, that PvP has been a very large discussion for BFA. And I just wanted people to know that although it could just be them blowing smoke up our ass, right? Because sometimes that's what they do. But I genuinely feel like the masses have spoken. And I'm really hoping to see some solid change come BFA for PvP in general, mostly in regards to gearing. But I just wanted to acknowledge that the Blizzard Blue folks were on there and said that they had been following the thread. So my body's ready, guys. My body
They pay people to read the threads, guys.
Right.
Like,
but somebody posted and was like, the PvEers complain about the PvP gear, why they should have to gear for PvP. I don't fucking know. Why should I have to gear for PvE? I don't go in, like, back in the day, I didn't go in full conquest gear and expect to be in a heroic raid or a mythic raid. I didn't have that expectation. I would get laughed at if I showed up to raid in my PvP gear. Why should PvEers have the fucking privilege to be able to come into my situation and not have to worry about gearing? Anyway, I'm not going to rant about that, guys, because we've been there, done that. I beat that horse to death. Y'all know how I feel about it. Some of you don't share my same passion, and that's okay. You don't have to. However, I do feel like a lot of positive changes, on a serious note, are going to come our way when it comes to that. And really from a PvP, from an esports side, they really have no choice but to kind of fix it because, you know, these guys that are doing this could easily go somewhere else and do some other thing, not World of Warcraft. They're hard pressed to make sure they keep them happy. I think a lot of the higher end PvP arena guys from the tournaments really kind of spoke their piece about the way that they felt, the way that PvP was being treated. And I think they don't really have a choice but to fix it. But anyway, story time.
Story time. Story time.
This,
for what?
like, what kind of story is this? Like,
This is more of a. The book is nice, but why isn't there an ending?
oh, well, isn't there always, okay, let me try to speak as a human again. Isn't the point for there to be no ending because we're in a continuous universe?
Not in this sense. You can't leave a terrible cliffhanger that serves no purpose, whereas instead where the end of a season comes up and it's like it makes sense. A lot of the stuff that's going on, there's a whole lot more from like past expansions, but this is focusing on what we're going in because 735 is around the corner either next week or the very next week, but then the very next week after that, or very, very next week after that.
No, it's next week. We're pretty sure it's next week, guys.
No, because there's a lot of stuff that they scrapped or it's intentional or either way, I labeled it as Blizzard may not know how to tie their shoes because there's lots of loose ends.
So what stories specifically are we talking about? I mean, I feel like I know them already.
Okay, so the main ones are just going to be 4. So Sylvanas and Greymane's little debacle and Stormheim. I think I use that word right.
It's debacle.
Debacle.
I very rarely get to correct you. So when it comes to English and I get to correct you, I'm taking advantage of that opportunity.
Their little debacle. Anduin and his father's sword. Not really it's more of just a disappointment / good part. Odin and the Halls of Valor.
Mm-hmm.
And then where the hell did Ebonhorn go? So first off, for Sylvanas and Greymane, I feel like there was a lot of story that was either scrapped or was shifted around because we have this whole zone going on in their little confrontation. And it ends with Sylvanas trying to take control of Aer, and Greymane's able to stop her. He has a little arrow on his shoulder, and he's like, "You killed my son," and all that good stuff. By the way, Greymane's still. Anyways,
so when that ended, and then fast forward to BlizzCon, and they talked about that story.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they shelved that story, because they needed to swap the focus to Argus, and it didn't make sense for Greymane and Sylvanas to be involved in what was going on Argus right this minute, right? As far as that story goes, because they had to change focus. I feel like we're probably going to see a portion of that story for the pre-expansion.
I'm hoping because, like I said, it's pivotal for the whole zone, and it felt like it was going to go somewhere more where, for instance, we have no idea what Sylvanas' deal with Helia was. When we're down in Helheim, we come upon Sylvanas talking to Helia, saying, "Oh, don't betray me, Sylvanas."
Oh yeah, we don't know what
And
shady shit them two bitches are up
there's
to, right?
And it just, we have a cool cinematic with Sylvanas and Greymane, but nothing comes out of that. It's more of a ending to a cliffhanger.
Right.
Like if they ended where it was like, I don't know, they had some epilogue. It's epilogue, yeah, where it's kind of explaining everything.
I barely speak regular English, let alone
But
fancy English.
the main thing is Sylvanas' deal with Helia. We don't know exactly what it is. We don't know if it might be tying to N'Zoth, possibly, because Helia is. There's speculation that she is not only in league, but she's a pawn of N'Zoth because of her physical appearance in the dungeon, and because of her past story.
I told you guys before, I feel like she was kind of hot in the dungeon. I was kind of digging the vibe. Her face is a little crooked, but like I was into it.
It takes a whole boat to fill up. Dang, son.
Yeah, I was into it, guys. Don't judge a book by its cover. She was cute.
So the next one is Anduin when he goes to.
I like how you're like, I'm not even going to acknowledge the fact that Bella's being a dirty whore on the show. I'm just going to keep on trucking. Got it. Next.
But no, so when Anduin picks up his sword and he goes to Broken Shore, like it's a important part of his story arc, and it kind of goes nowhere. We are with Velen, Maiev, Illidan, and Khadgar.
So when he picked up the sword I'm picturing it in my mind's eye. So he picks up the sword where his dad...
Right in front of the tomb.
Right in front of the tomb. He picks up the sword. He disappears, basically. Then we do a random thing where he's, like, dressed as an Assassin's Creed guy, going through Stormwind, trying to hear what people are saying, right? We go through that whole thing, but nothing is mentioned about the sword, and then boom, he's a priest mass resing.
Yeah, so that was my next point. The fact that we're at BlizzCon and we see the first cinematic for BFA, and he's all Manduined out. He's with Greymane attacking Lordaeron. He's got the sword, but he's more priest-like. And so my biggest issue was he gets the sword. It's all like climactic. It's all like everything's going to be pumped up. Anduin's going to be fighting with us. He's going to be training with Velen, all this good stuff. And he just disappears. Like I said, we're with all the other guys fighting the Burning Legion. Like, is Anduin training? Or is he prepping? Is he still crying over his dad and the throne?
I feel like
Where has he been?
I feel like he went to a brothel and worked that shit out. Does anybody else share that? Like,
maybe. I mean, I'd probably go to the brothel if it's the end of the world.
I feel like there's going to be a really good story about what he was doing. I hope.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope. But I agree, it is kind of weird. I'm sure, once again, so like I know we're probably expecting this to be the last content patch of Legion, right? I'm pretty sure we're all expecting that. I think any following patches are going to be maybe like a mini patch. They're going to be adding the allied race stuff, because I do believe it's Blizzard's intention to want us to level the allied races before the expansion hits, because it makes sense. We need those allied races to be, for the expansion. So I'm sure right after we retire the artifact weapons and all that stuff, that will happen either at the end of patch 7.3.5 or possibly a 7.4 that's going to be maybe pre-expansion. Perhaps, maybe, Rem, they plan on finishing up those two stories in pre-expansion.
Hopefully.
For content purposes, right?
Yeah. Content and story purposes. So a small one is going to be Odin and his Valajar in the Halls of Valor. So in the raid, we are able to defeat Helia, which allows Odin to leave the Halls of Valor. And so back during when the Titans were first trying to remove the Black Empire, Odin was made prime designate of Azeroth and the other Titan Watchers. Pretty much like the leader. He's the captain of the team. And I'm hoping that we see him in BFA or at the very end of it when we start to kind of come in full confrontation with N'Zoth and the Old Gods. Hopefully he takes up his responsibilities and helps us fight them, or we find out why it just ended with after the raid, where he's able to leave the Halls of Valor, but nothing happened after that. There was no like end dialogue where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go do this now, or I can go do this. It was just sort of boom, end, raid, good job. So hopefully we see him in the future fighting the Old Gods or helping us in some way, even though he's kind of a dick. But
he has that like sarcastic old grandpa type of attitude.
Not even he's a sarcastic prick.
So he's you. Got it.
Exactly. But
right, like Thrall and Illidan. I had to go back in Siege of Orgrimmar because I was trying to figure out some bullshit with filters and PTR. And I soloed Garrosh, right? With that shit's easy, obviously. So I'm soloing Garrosh, and I'm just getting mad because there's so many things that are going wrong. Garrosh keeps resetting, whatever. And then I'm reminded of Thrall, who was like, I'm going to do all these things. And then he like does a thing, and then Garrosh does a thing, and then he basically just lays down and lets us fight the battle for him.
And then he comes up and says, oh, I did all this.
Right. Like, he's somebody special. I don't appreciate that, where you're just sitting there, you know, up on your little pedestal while we're doing all the heavy lifting and you just take all the credit, right? Cool. I thought we were the heroes in this story. Then, Lycan's 100% right. Illidan. I was just doing something on Argus on the monk, and he's just standing there, not fighting, he's just standing there looking.
At least he was standing there. Where the fuck was Anduin? He's got a sword now. He's not a little pansy. Well, I mean,
I feel like they're leading up to a bit of suspense there.
In a bad form, yeah.
But I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, and then Ebonhorn, he makes a big deal about at the end of Netherian's lair. He's all, I have family matters to attend to, and then takes off. First of all, he's been in High Mountain for the past thousands of years. How does he know about anything going on with Black Dragonflight or Rathian? Because Rathian is the only family he has left. Unless they have some secret plot hole where there's some secret covert Black Dragonflight. He's obviously talking about Rathian. What family matters was he attending to, and why does he just run off when he has nothing to...
I don't know. Maybe Rathian's out killing more fucking people at other garrisons.
Oh yeah, you and Admiral Taylor.
No, because remember we leveled, and then we came across Admiral Taylor in PTR, and I was like, oh my god, you're alive. Yeah, I'm salty, but maybe Ebonhorn is off with Rathian, and they're plotting.
He wouldn't be... No. Ebonhorn is not... What's the word? He is not corrupted like Deathwing and the other Black Dragonflight, where he is still pristine in his mindset. We don't know about Rathian's psych evaluation, so...
Yeah, he's crazy. He killed an entire garrison of people.
He's nuts. He's been prepping for the Burning Legion now that we defeated it. Now he's prepping for the Old Gods, or maybe he was working with the Old Gods the whole time. Either way, I really want to know what Ebonhorn's family matters are.
I agree. I would like to know that.
What kind of broken home does he live in?
Right, and does anybody love him? I mean, does he really truly feel loved? Does he get a hot meal? Does he have a warm bed? I think about those things too, Rem. I'm glad that you and I are on the same page.
Alan also...
Candy makes a good point about Anduin. He's a priest. He's not good with swords. He's not supposed to be good with swords. What if some weird magic thing happens and they like... Wasn't the sword broken? The sword wasn't broken. The sword was whole. I was thinking of Lord of the Rings. Never mind. Just kidding. Take all that back. That's a different story. Shit.
The sword has been remade.
Well, I've been watching a lot of things about swords. Like we watched the new King Arthur with Charlie Hunnam. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I held off on that.
It was really good. It was pretty true to the story as well, which I appreciated. Anyway, not the time or place. But But I'm obsessed with Excalibur, obviously, which I don't know that you knew that, actually, because I don't talk about that with many people. Anyway, maybe the sword is going to be repurposed for a staff, maybe. No?
No.
No, is that not a thing?
No, no. There's no reason to.
He's a priest. He doesn't need a sword. Maybe he
Yes
puts
and
it...
no.
Maybe he hangs it on the wall?
NPC heroes and NPCs don't really follow the same classifications that we do.
But I feel like somebody like Anduin as a priest shouldn't be wielding a sword.
Well, it's kind of weird for a king to be in full metal regalia with a staff.
It's also kind of weird for a king to be a priest.
Not really.
It's pretty weird.
Velen is a priest, and he's the most badass guy in Azeroth. So
Does Velen have a sword?
No, he's got a staff.
You just made my fucking point for me.
No,
if
I
he is a
didn't.
priest, he should have a staff, not a sword.
No.
I let you fall into that trap, and you totally fell into it.
There was no trap.
That was the trap.
No, he's King Anduin. He has the battle regalia, the steel, all that good stuff. He doesn't need a goddamn staff.
It doesn't, I guess it just feels like it doesn't make sense to me. If they're trying to make him this badass warrior, why did they make him a priest? I'm not insulting any shadow priests out there or any priests, you know, I'm not trying to insult you. But when I think of badass, full armor, riding into battle, I don't think of a priest. I think of a warrior. I think of a DK. You know, I don't think...
Paladins are priests with a hammer. So I don't see the problem.
Paladins... What?
Okay, so... Uther the Lightbringer, the first human paladin.
Anduin's on Anduin's on an alt.
But no, Uther, the first human paladin, was a priest before. The only difference is that he uses the light in a battle stance kind of thing with a hammer or a sword, because they like to give prop paladin swords now.
But he's not a paladin; he's a priest.
Yeah, but like I said, NPCs don't follow the same classifications we do.
We're gonna take this fight off air, but I really want to have a conversation about that because, and I want to know what you guys think. So what you guys think at home, I want to know what you guys think about this. Visually, do you feel like it makes sense for our king to be strapped with all this armor and wielding a fucking sword that he can't use and all this stuff if he's a priest? Or do you feel like, you know, I don't know. Just tell me what you feel, because I don't really know how to feel about that, to be honest. It's weird. I know what you're saying. NPCs don't follow, right? NPCs don't follow that. I don't know.
Exactly. What Candy said. It's just a show of that he's the king of Stormwind.
So
You
he
can't be
can
the king
do...
of Stormwind in shitty little white robe.
He can do pre-spells with a sword then?
For him, yes.
But, like...
And besides, technically, he did the swords, the priest spell without the sword, because he threw that shit in the ground and was like, pow.
So he didn't do it with anything. Like, he's so powerful, he didn't need any kind of conduit. He just did that shit with his bare hands.
Well, I mean, technically, us as the players, we're the champions. We don't really need a conduit either.
Oh. See, in my brain, in my immersion, I feel like as Belle, if I didn't have my staff, I could not perform my magical functions.
And for us at the time, for us to have the power and our artifact weapons and that amount of power, yeah.
No,
but
even without
we
that,
don't need in Warcraft, we don't need a conduit for our power. It's just amplifies it.
I felt like in my immersion for my character, like say for Belle, I feel like if, you know, Belle woke up one day and she just forgot to have her, you know, her staff. She just was like, I'm not going to take my staff. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And she's walking around and needed to be able to do, you know, whatever weird shit Belle does. I feel like I wouldn't be able to perform those magical functions without it. But once again, that's my immersion, not necessarily what makes it right. But thinking about it, Belle, with being a warlock, has the ability to wield a sword if she wants to. And I guess when you think about it like that, I guess priests have always been something different in my own... like in my own mind visually of what I think the priests are. So that's
for
my own hang up, I guess I'll say, guys. Don't
you know,
take anything I say
as a
seriously.
players, the story behind it, yeah, we're more of like the priestly clerics kind of thing, not like a
That's
battle.
what I said. It's definitely my own, visuals inside my brain. Guys, I'm not normal. I never said I was. Oh, she is a priest? I don't think I knew that. Kalia Menethil?
Yeah.
I don't
She's
think
in
I
the
knew that.
priest order hall.
Interesting. Yeah, they really shouldn't melee. I liked using a sword on Bell, PvP in Miss Pandaria. I really liked the sword because of the stuff that I got. But I also, while I want to wield a sword because I think a sword is badass, I feel weird on Bell with a sword. It never looked right visually to me.
It still feels weird to have a dagger on the priest.
It didn't feel right visually to me, as I want to be about, the dark arts and, my fell. It felt kind of strange to me, although it was fun.
Don't hurt your knee.
Not that kind of fell. It was fun, though. I did enjoy having a sword because I did feel a lot more badass, but it didn't feel right to my nature. But that's my interpretation, guys. Just because that's what I say doesn't mean that is what it is. That's my interpretation of the game and what I feel. So
Price is wrong.
I feel like we already had people in chat maybe freak out about stuff, and I feel like when people are going to listen or watch, they'll be like, wow, Belle is completely wrong. I'm not saying anything to be wrong or right. I'm just saying for goodness sakes, guys. That was really great, actually. I super appreciate that, because I didn't connect the Ebonhorn situation. I might not have done that quest, maybe, question mark. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, you don't really pay attention to small stuff like that. If it's not a quest, or if we talk about it, or if someone in the guild doesn't ask about it, then generally you just light switches off.
I mean, did you see that face? Because that was just the face of the light switching off. As much as I would like to keep the good times rolling, that's pretty much, unless Rem has anything else, that's pretty much it. I have videos that I have to record after this, so I want to be some type of awake, maybe, question mark. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Rem and I have so many good things in the future and in the works. I did notice quite the one avenue, the audio version spiked in listens, and the YouTube is dropping in views, which is fine because most people are watching on Twitch when they're watching live. I hope you guys continue to ride the lightning, because we got a lot of good things, a lot and lots and lots of good things that are coming this way. I have found myself, and I have not seen this person in a very long time. And
do you not look in the mirror often?
No, but I mean, sometimes in the day-to-day, I even allow myself to get into that same old habit. But I could tell you, we've been doing things, guys, Rem and I, all week. Good things are coming this way. 2018 is going to be great. I didn't get around to responding to comments on the show. So if you commented on YouTube, I apologize. I have not gotten around to being able to do that. It's not because I don't give a shit, I promise. I will make that my point this weekend. I'll make sure that I respond to all the comments. I actually got some emails regarding feedback from the show as well. Not all of it was great, and that's okay. Most of it was good, but not all of it. And, that's all right, because the people have a right to their opinion, and all I can do is make it better for us in the long run.
Criticism is good, though. So
if you are a patron...
Healthy criticism.
Yeah, healthy criticism. Don't be a dick. The patrons and the subs. So for the process, I post the link to the video for the pre-show to the patron. If you're a patron, you'll see it. And if you sub to the Twitch channel, you'll be able to see it in the uploads, because I upload it to the subs only. I think I do that right, unless I'm just letting everybody see it. I don't know. But I will be uploading that tonight, so it'll be viewable tomorrow for those of you that give us your money. And I don't like doing stuff for people that give money, because I feel like Pretty Woman. But
Walking
you know.
down the street.
I knew you were going to sing that song. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Rem, what do you got to say?
I'm excited for the
7?
future. 7. Oh, thanks. I'm just super excited for the future of Warcraft and the future of Pwnecast. Everyone that's been involved has put us where we are right now, and all you can really do is just improve on what everything's been going towards. So, super excited for the coming stuff and the things.
Somebody just subbed because I can see it on the screen. I'm not sure who that was. I can't read. Lycro?
I'm gonna butcher that name. Ikorak.
Lycro. Ark. I'm just gonna call you Ark. Okay?
Sorek.
Your name is
It's
Ark.
Sorek.
Hey, thanks for the sub. So, guys, I
Sorek.
want to thank you for spending your time with us every week. It means a lot. It seems like the chat starts to get busy an hour after we are.
Well,
Oh, is it icy? Why does it say something different?
because there's no.
It looked like an L. I'm retarded. Icy, I love you. Icy Rourke. Thanks for the sub. Yeah, seriously, thanks for spending your time with us every week. We will be back live at same time, same rap channel. Make sure you guys join us live at the beginning of the show.
Wait, we have a rap channel?
Yeah. Listen, you're going to want to join us next week live. We're going to have a guest, and it's nice for the guest to see lots of people come to hang out. Well, maybe you should have Twitch open while you're raiding, because I know you can multitask. I'll whisper sweet nothings in your ear while you're waiting. We're raiding, not waiting. That was weird. Yay! See? Another member who's been listening for quite some time. That's how you know it's good stuff. So, yeah, guys, we're going to get the hell on out of here because I'm tired. He's tired. I got videos to record, and he has...
Work early as fuck.
Yay! Also, yeah, we'll talk about that next week. Guys, we're going to go ahead and get the hell on out of here.
Squirrel.
Oh. Did you picture, like, a giant dick that was really hairy? Because that's what many people picture when they listen to Rem, and then they find out that that's
I'm a
not.
giant groomed dick.
He is very well groomed. He is very well groomed. That's so funny. All right, guys, we're going to get on out of here. Love you.
Laters
your
on the
faces.
Menjay.
Bye. Just laters on the Menjay.
Yeah, laters on the Menjay.
What is the Menjay?
I don't know.
Okay, so where is Tranquillin?
What?
Where's Tranquillin?
Shaquellin?
Not Tranquillin, asshole.
I want to say Dark Shore, but it's probably Asheville.
Okay. Where's Thunderclef? What map is Thunderclef like? Continent.
Like Eastern. Kalimdor.
No, it's Panda.
What?
Yes. I'm telling you, all the times
zone?
I thought that this was like I had all these
What
areas.
zone in Panda though?
I don't know. I was trying to picture it in my head, but I don't know.
If anything, it'd probably be Kunlai. Oh wait, you only have to get the continent.
No,
I thought you had to get. I had that you had to get the zone.
No, you have to, but you have to. Sometimes you have to know the zone to know what continent, right?
I know, but I mean, I thought you had to.
They'll give you where they'll have like Kalimdor, Northrend, Outland, Legion, like they'll have it, and then you have to. They'll give you like I said, like Soggy Gamble. So a lot of these I thought that I knew, and then I found out I actually didn't. But the ones I struggled with most were Outlands. I had pretty much all the other ones, but Outlands for some reason I struggled the most.
Oh no, that's the Horde outpost in Crossharing. That's right. Okay.
Is it?
Thundercleft, yeah.
I thought Honorhold was Northrend, but it wasn't. It was Outlands.
That's Outlands. That's in Hellfire.
Sylvanar. Where's Sylvanar?
Eastern Kingdoms.
Maybe.
It's
Conquest Hold. Where's Conquest Hold?
That's Eastern Kingdoms. That's Badlands.
No,
That's
it's Northrend, because I thought it was in Eastern Kingdoms too. What? Yeah, I wrote a whole list down of the ones that I was getting wrong because it was pissing me off. So I wrote them all down. But I too thought Conquest Hold was in Eastern Kingdoms. Oh shit, I forgot to hit the not live button anymore. Well, guys, looks like you got a nice little ending and sidebar. This is what we talk about after the show. Bye.